So I hope you've all had a great day, because today we'll be talking about some topics that I'm a little bit late to, but regardless, I'm sure you won't care. I'm sure you will enjoy it all the same like you normally do. Because PlayStation fanboys seem to be a little bit upset and unhappy with the fact that Xbox may be getting Epic Games and Steam on their platform, maybe at a later date. It's not completely confirmed, but it's just food for thought, mainly. And alongside that, we might as well make fun of some fanboys using someone's cancer in the console war, which is incredibly cringe. I don't know why they would do that, and especially photoshopping images to frame people to make them look like that they were making fun of this so-called person that had cancer. You know, he may be a games journalist, but we still can't handle stupid shit like that. The only time you're allowed to do stuff like that is if they're your friend, and they love it when you take the piss out of them. I used to speak to this guy that had cancer, right? Like, he was going through recovery, and we always used to give him shit like, you know, you survived cancer just to play a really cancerous game like For Honor, and can you guess what he's playing right now? He's playing Valorant and Overwatch 2. I don't think he's ever learned his lesson. Oh well, at least he's enjoying himself. I guess that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Our first tweet is from Japan Hates Xbox. Laughs at dead people and cancer survivors. This is Colt Eastwood. How the hell can the Xbox community who embraces this guy show their faces here ever again? This is vile. With a bunch of ats and hashtags or whatever, and then cancel him at the bottom, you know, very special individual. Like, I don't know why you'd even bother posting this, it's just stupid. It makes you look even worse of an individual than you already are, but then again, you are the biggest bundle of sticks I've ever seen. This is why no one will ever take you seriously. This is why everyone just makes fun of you. You bring this upon yourself. And on top of that, the image got fucking community noted. Everyone knows it's fake now. You just made yourself look worse. And people always ask me, why do you always cover PlayStation fanboys? Well, this is the reason. You know, they're the only community that has gone out of their way to send dick pics to developers to get early access to God of War Ragnarok gameplay, or do riots, or dox someone, especially their own medical patient that they have to do surgery on, and they dox them for a weird flex that PlayStation is better. I don't know about you, but this doesn't really seem to surprise anyone anymore. Like, you never see Xbox fanboys do this, or Nintendo fanboys do it. Like, have you ever seen Harmon Smith go to his way to, you know, start a riot? I'm kinda curious what they will do next. Like, you know, it can't get any worse than this, right? They've done riots, they've fucked with people with cancer. Like, come on, I wanna know what they can do worse now. What are they gonna do? Storm Area 51? That'd be pretty cool, actually. Tell them the fabled PS7 is in there, and they'll do anything to get their hands on that, especially if it means to flex on Xbox. So I'm sure you were all asking, why did they even bother bringing up his cancer in the first place? It's because he pissed off PlayStation fanboys, because he prefers Dragon's Dogma 2 boss fights, because they have no select arena, they just happen naturally, at random. You could never expect it. As you can see in this gameplay in the background, I will walk into a boss and I can choose to fight it or not to fight it. There is no select arena, and for some reason PlayStation fanboys did not like him comparing it to Spider-Man 2, and that's how it led to this very situation. And all because they didn't like his opinion. That's pretty depressing. Like, you know, we all have our difference of opinion. Some may prefer certain things, some may prefer this to be just how it is, you know? Some people prefer those scripted boss fights, some don't. It's just how life will always work. But harassing a man just because he shares that opinion, and you know, he is a games journalist, we can't expect him to have good opinions, but I think this is a pretty reasonable opinion from him. I forgot to mention this, but if you look at the community note, you will notice that the person that actually said it is a PlayStation fanboy, and it really makes you think why they would bother putting Xbox fanboys up there instead of calling out the PlayStation fanboy for doing this. It really makes you wonder, what is their priority in this situation? Calling out someone with I would argue, doing a pretty bad thing, and alongside that, just not bothering to console war over this situation, or, you know, just continuing a console war by photoshopping images and putting other people in his position. So that's pretty much it. There's nothing else for me really to talk about, so I guess I'll just move on to the Epic Games and Steam store coming to Xbox. And you know, before we really do get started with that, I have to ask you something a little bit important. How about this? You guys help me get 400 more subscribers in the next 2 months and I will start streaming. So you should subscribe. And alongside that, I will even open up my Discord for 150 people. So there you go, you have a bit more of an incentive. And on top of that, you may not even need to spend money on memberships to get access to the Discord, so it's pretty worthwhile if you don't want to waste $3. Our next tweet is from XVault Gaming. Phil said Epic Games Store and Steam are coming to Xbox. Xbox will play PlayStation, PC games. Checkmate ponies, game over. This is the end of your PlayStation console. I really hate the way that you type in this, and I hate how you messed up the Xbox hat on the Photoshop. Please, I wish you would do better. It's not that hard to, get an application or just do it yourself through Photoshop. It really hurts my feelings. But yes, this could lead to the death of PlayStation if they don't follow suit and do the exact same thing. You are now comparing a platform, especially a console, with more than 100,000 games on it, especially if they're using them as launches, which is a pretty unique concept, and I think it would change the way that we perceive consoles going forward. And I think it would really benefit if they tried to turn them into miniature PCs, make it a Windows operating system, and just allow you to do whatever you want with it, allowing you to install whatever you want, but make it just, you need to have Xbox stuff installed. I think that would be really cool. Like, imagine that. You would finally get the taste of what it's like to be a PC gamer just on a much weaker system, and instead of needing to port to console, they could just make it, one port across the board. Everything's treated like a PC. That would be really cool. It would benefit a lot more people. But I think that's all mainly just wishful thinking, as I don't think Xbox will go out of the way to change a lot of their stuff about their next console if they choose to follow this all the way through. It's just probably just going to be launches that you can download and choose the games to play that are actually compatible with the Xbox. But would this fix Xbox's issues of not being able to make any good games? I won't lie, I've lost a lot of faith with Xbox, especially with them siding with Sweet Baby Inc. I've honestly lost so much faith with them in the last 2 years, I really couldn't care to support the platform anymore. The only good thing that I would argue that they've done is Game Pass, and that's it, and that's gone stagnant. Like, all it really should take them is just to make a good game, and that should be it, but they keep releasing games in buggy and broken states. It's really annoying. This screams, just get a PC. In my opinion, it isn't a good idea and blurs the lines on consumers deciding what to get. PS goes hard in the console space, which is just now Sony and Nintendo. Play on Xbox doesn't mean anything anymore. Rather, join Xbox and play wherever, so third party. Oh, but bringing PlayStation games to PC isn't third party, it's just timed exclusivity or whatever shitty excuses they keep telling us. Both of these platforms are third party. Who really cares? More people get to play your games and experience your so-called greatest games on your platform. That should be the most important thing. I don't know why PlayStation players don't just ask for this alongside the Xbox ones. This would be a pretty big benefit to choose wherever you get to play your games and whatever games you want to play, especially if they were able to figure out a way where you could get these games to be played on your platform. It would be a really good idea. This should be something that they should be striving for from every platform, to be more like PC. You should be trying to strive for as much choice as possible, especially on these closed platforms. Our next tweet is from Alex. I love watching Xbox on desperate mode. Yeah man, great move. Xbox gamers will finally be able to play those EGS exclusives like Fortnite. Yes, because Fortnite is clearly the only exclusive that is available on PC, not like Fortnite's already available on all the platforms. Yeah, clearly. Not like that Steam on its own would have more games to rival all of Xbox that are just exclusive to Steam on its own. If they were to bring those to another platform, which still I think is very unlikely, they would have a lot of so-called exclusive games, from indie to some AAA games that never have bothered to make it to Xbox because they're either not ready for Xbox or too lazy to bring it to Xbox, which is pretty common for a lot of games that first start out on PC, as there's not really much incentive to bring it to a console player base. But this is all relying on the fact that Microsoft, Steam, Epic Games, and everyone else can actually work out a deal where they all benefit and actually make money from this, because it seems kind of hard for them to all make money, because how is Xbox going to determine how much money they make if someone chooses to buy on Steam on their platform, or Epic Games? How would this all work? It's a pretty confusing mess, and it seems very unlikely that any of this will actually go through. So I think it's time that we take a look at the final tweet of this video, which is our favorite man, J-Dub. Guys, buy a PC and move on with your lives. Xbox ain't shit and will never be shit. 360 era was peak Xbox. It died after that generation. Move on, this shit is crazy. I hope you can keep that same energy, J-Dub, because the PS2 in every regard was the best era of PlayStation. All those consistent bangers alongside all those third-party games coming in to make the platform even greater than it was. It makes the PS5 and PS4 look like shit. Just like how the Series X makes everything else look like an absolute godsend for the previous generations of Xbox. Like, I don't even know why people even bother defending these current states of both of these platforms. They don't even release as many exclusives as they used to back in their actual peak generations. It's honestly depressing that people even bother defending this and don't ask for more. But then again, you could just do a me and come to PC and stay with the master race. That's what you should be doing. Get a PC right now. And that's pretty much it for this video. I don't really have much else I want to add. I think these fanboys that I've shown you are pretty much a good example of how they all reacted to this situation with very few differences in between, so that's pretty much it. I'll see you all in the next video.